40 years ago, Jane and I hit the road to discover America's food highways. Over 100,000 meals later, we're still finding delicious food, adventure, natural beauty, and interesting people. Sweet Home, Alabama. From Selma, Queen City of the Black Belt, to Montgomery.
Selma is a very welcoming place because we're friendly and we're happy to see people. The things that I think you should see when you come to Selma, the bridge naturally. You know, everybody wants to cross the bridge. You may want to stop first at the Interpretive Center right at the foot of the bridge and kind of get an overview of what happened with the Civil Rights Movement.
Civil rights history is everywhere in Selma.
The Brown Chapel Church is located in a housing complex, and there are many plaques along the way that tell much about Selma. I like the food in Selma because I don't have to cook. There is the Downtowner, then there's the Golden Ranch barbecue place if you want to eat there. There's Laney's, and they have the best barbecue and the sauce.
Laney's is a Selma institution, a destination for lovers of pit-cooked meat for over 70 years. It's got all the good stuff you'd expect, plus an array of outrageously piled-high barbecue specialties so tall that they're virtually impossible to eat without catastrophic dripping, dropping, and utterly delicious mess-making. Needless to say, you need a knife and a fork and plenty of napkins. Consider the Swamp Burger. That's a towering sandwich that consists of a double cheeseburger, a slab of bologna, a fistful of pulled pork, a sheet of crisp pig skin, and plenty of sauce. The ribs are definitive Deep South. And of course you want barbecue beans and cool potato salad and a plateful of creamy sweet corn nuggets. Exploring Selma from its old gracious neighborhood homes to its wide downtown boulevards is an up-close encounter with the soul of a region where the past is not forgotten. As you travel these colorful streets, you know you could be nowhere else but Alabama. Montgomery, Alabama's capital, was home to both Hank Williams, country music's first superstar, and Martin Luther King, pioneer of the 20th century civil rights movement. The legacy of these two towering figures, so different in so many ways, defines a city with a complex personality. Come hungry, and Montgomery's diversity is a never-ending banquet, whether you're looking for a sassy chili dog, Southern comfort fare, or a Gulf Coast seafood feast. It's a city where history is front and center everywhere you go. History from long ago, and history that in some ways is still unfolding. At the Civil Rights Memorial Center, a circular black granite tablet records the names of leaders of the civil rights movement and chronicles its history.
The city of Montgomery and people who live here are always happy to have visitors. And I think that the people here are nice and welcoming.
But how about something good to eat? How about real Southern barbecue? Brenda's is as small as a restaurant can be. It's all takeout, no indoor seating at all. But if you like expertly smoke-cooked meats with all the fixins, big slabs of ribs in particular, you'll be happy to take it on a picnic or dine off the dashboard of your car. Here is a true taste of the Deep South that hasn't changed since Brenda's opened in 1942. The meandering Alabama River flows from north of the city straight through it. One wonders if it wasn't some kind of inspiration for native son Hank Williams when he wrote, "I'm lost on the river of life." Hank is omnipresent throughout Montgomery and beyond. Hank Williams' life was short. He died when he was 29. But in those few years, the songs he wrote and performed became the very foundation on which American country music has been built.
He had a love for music, and that love for music came from a man by the name of Rufus T. Top Payne, and a lot of people don't know about him, but he was a black gentleman that helped Hank Williams come out of his shyness, and so he taught him the chords on how to play the blues and how to entertain, and Hank Williams then in turn became very popular, not only in Montgomery, Alabama, but around the world.
And from here, he streaked across the country like a whirlwind, his life full of excitement, adventure, and chaos. His final resting place is the opposite of all that, a peaceful plot of land, serene and meditative. Here at the Stockyard Grill, cattlemen come for bountiful meals of juicy beef and all the trimmings. Everything is made using old family recipes, followed by fantastic from-scratch dessert, including creamy buttermilk pie.
I had a vision to put together like a little transportation cart to take people through Montgomery to expose them to hidden truths, but there's so much more to the story.
This is the front of the Empire Theater. And this entire area, we give our guests an opportunity to be spectators of the arrest of Mrs. Parks on the bus, from the time the police officers arrived until they escorted her off the bus and eventually arrested her. We want everybody to come out to experience for themselves as a spectator and witness the arrest of Mrs. Rosa Parks.
This is where Martin Luther King's career began in 1954. Originally known as the Second Colored Baptist Church, it is where the legendary Montgomery bus boycott was planned by Dr. King in his basement office, right here. Nearby, the Dexter Parsonage Museum is where King and his family lived while he was pastor. Now it looks as it did when the King family lived here, including much of the furniture they actually used. Another kind of landmark, of the culinary kind, is Chris's Hot Dogs.
This is the oldest restaurant here in Montgomery. Hank Williams Sr., he kind of grew up here in Montgomery, Alabama. He would sit up here at our bar, he'd come and get a hot dog, he'd grab a napkin and start writing. Rumored here at Hey Good Looking sitting in my bar.
Everybody has to eat. That's one thing we have in common, right? Everyone has to eat. And so basically, food can bring people together just like music.
An entirely different food experience, one that's very modern, is what you're going to find at Derk's Filet and Vine. It's a breezy cafeteria with a wide selection that ranges from classic square meals to modern twists on vintage recipes to sunshiny health food. It's also a butcher shop and a stupendously colorful source of countless beers and fine wines.
It is the definition of Southern hospitality here. We love it here. Families are here all the time. I mean, there'll be little kids running around. There'll be older people playing Scrabble. So it's a great place to be.
Jubilee is named for a phenomenon unique to the Mobile Bay. When Gulf Coast seafood swarms into shallow waters and becomes ridiculously easy to catch, that's called a jubilee. And so it is at this humble hidden-away restaurant where great seafood meals are so easy to eat. Impeccable shrimp, oysters, gumbo, crab meat, and grouper are all expertly prepared in both fancy ways and utterly simple ones, with, of course, sweet, tart key lime pie for dessert. It's a fascinating place to explore, especially if you bring along an appetite for some of the nation's most distinctive regional food.